Hi, my name is Jez Groom. I'm the founder and CEO of Cowry Consulting, and we're a behavioural science consultancy that specialises in putting the science behind customer experience. So we work in financial services, retail, utilities with some of the biggest brands and businesses in the world, including people like Amazon and Walmart, but also like Tesco, John Lewis, HSBC, and a multitude of other brands. So the reason why we returned for this second year is because it was so successful last year. We had some really senior, meaningful, conversations around, significant transformational change programs that people were executing against. And the conversations really were fruitful. So we started working with 3 major corporates within the year, and it was without hesitation. And I was really happy to book again because I know our ROIs that we get for this are outstanding. So the reason why it's important that Cowry comes to this event is the seniority of the stakeholders. And I think on other events we might be picking up maybe kind of manager level, and it takes us a few more points of interaction. Sometimes we fall out at that point, but I think what's brilliant about the CX Strategy Forum is we've got senior decision makers and often teams of them. So often in our interactions we'll kind of have the executive, maybe a director and also a manager. So we get buy-in kind of instantly if we've got compelling enough proposition. So I think that's the uniqueness, which essentially is like-minded CX professionals in this case, but the seniority of budget holder, and that really does make a difference in terms of shortening the sales process. So what's critical about our relationship with the CX Strategy Forum is we've got a combination of different elements that we buy into, and one of them is a presentation, and this is key, that we work in the area of behavioural science and it's not that well understood. So being given like 20 minutes to really bring to life with a client-centric case study really showcases the work. We often talk about like experiencing behavioural science is really important to essentially sell it, and it's not something that you can read about or sell off the page. Essentially you've got to convey the emotion but also the science in a compelling fashion, and that 20-minute presentation really creates intrigue, interest, and brings in leads. So the benefits of the 15-minute pre-book meetings are such that they're long enough for you to be able to convey your proposition and also to get some feedback from that proposition, how it relates to that client-specific problems, without having to go too far, which might sound a little bit odd, but what it leads to is a further conversation. So if you can pique essentially the interest, it allows us to go into that business and talk more about the work that we do. And that's invaluable because we meet more people, and it's a second interaction that we have on their terms where they're deciding what they want to hear about, and we meet their needs. So yeah, it works really well. So in terms of the networking opportunities of the CX Strategy Forum, what I really like about them is that they're scheduled. So you get this kind of interesting blend, I think, of knowing who you're going to meet, but actually meeting the people themselves. So I think it just leads to like more meaningful conversations, so they can prep, you can prep. So when you actually meet, you get to a really good place, which is quite different from some of the other conferences we do, where actually we kind of have a lot of open leads. We don't know who they are, we've got to think on our feet. So strategically, I think the CX Strategy Forum just really works for us. So in terms of the work we've been doing, essentially in lead generation and also relationship building, I think what we found is there's a panacea of different types of things that you guys can do. Some of them like huge events, but they're very transactional, and it feels very salesy. I think the uniqueness of this event, especially being off-site, means that essentially you've got a community of like-minded professionals that are coming together to learn, get new insights and do things differently. And you get buy-in, and you can see interactions over time and from presentation to presentation. So I think it's more relational rather than transactional, and I think that really makes a difference.